Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. And now what we are going to do is see another interesting effect that we have inside Cinema 4D. But before we do that, let me just select these two pieces of text. And I want to show you that you can actually move this horizontal spacing and reduce the amount that you can see here. So that's the default. And now you want to make it fit in a region. So just try to play with this value, and you can see that we can maybe make it fit in here, and that's kind of nice. Now you have also the vertical spacing, but in this case we don't need it because we have only one row, and if you have too many rows you can make them go and fit together and move them all together, but in this case I have to do it in a separate kind of portion of text, and that actually I like that a lot better because I have the flexibility to manipulate them independently. All right, so we could move this guy into the same position, but I am not going to do that right now. I'm just going to be aware of the other things that we have to do. And you know, that's what happens when you're actually designing things. You want to make sure that everything is in place. But right now, I am not worried about that right now. So I am going to go and hide this, and then I will worry about that later. Now let me show you something really cool. I'm going to create a sphere in here, and you can see that our sphere contains segments and all that. Let's try to create some sort of cloud. So I'm going to take that, and I could create another sphere, and I could bring that sphere in here and move the size of this. I don't care about that. I want to move just this size and have that, and let's create another one. I can just control duplicate this, and now let me just go a little bit smaller than the original, but a little bit bigger than this one. And then I could take that and put this one in here, and that may be look like a cloud, right? Something like that. And perfect. So we have that, and it doesn't have to be a perfect cloud because it's a cartoony kind of style. But now what I can do is create well, we have actually really cool volume shaders that we can use in here, but for now we are just going to create a white cloud material and just make sure that we have a lot of brightness, and probably, well, we could use some effects like Fresnel and a lot of different type of cool things, but you know, I'm just gonna keep things simple for now. Let's give it a little bit of bluish kind of color, and let's place it into these spheres. So I could do this, and you're gonna see that if I do that, if I render this, we're gonna get this cloudy effect, and kind of looks weird because, oh, don't tell me that I moved my camera. Yes, and the cool thing about doing this is that we have our other camera that is supposed to be in place right now. Let's go and try to render this. And yeah, that's the good thing about that. And we have our camera, the original camera there. So I'm just gonna make sure that I'm out of that and try to just go a little bit away with this one. And this sphere, we can select all of these objects and we can place them inside one null object, right? We all know that now, that we can just put it inside here, and this one could be called cloud. And now we could move this guy, and let's bring our layers so that we can see where are we placing this guy. And I'm just gonna move a little bit, probably like that, and go to another view and take my how do you call that, cloud, and let's see another position here. I'm going to take the cloud, I'm going to put it here on the top, and we can move it and place it in here, for example. And let's go back in here and let's just take a look at this. I want to see the type of shape that we're getting. So we have these divisions that I really don't like, and they don't look cool at all. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to hide again everything so we can focus on that one, and I'm going to press S in order to go closer, and I'm going to bring another object that is inside here called the MetaBall. Now the MetaBall is an object that nobody uses anymore. Well, at least not a lot of people is using it anymore, but a long time ago we used to use it for a lot of different cool things. In this case, I just want to show you how it works. Now I have this object, so I'm going to take sphere number 1, which is this one, and we're going to place it inside the MetaBall object. And now you can see that it changes. It's a little bit different than the rest. Now the definition in this case is segments is set to 16. Now be aware of this. I don't want you to come and start moving these values just like crazy. Don't go really far away, because if you do that, well, excuse me, I am moving the segments of the sphere. I was talking about this editor subdivision. I don't want you to come and start moving these values like really high. Don't go to 1 or 2 or even 16 or 15. Sometimes, depending on your computer, you're going to get in trouble. So this one allows me to get more definition. In this case, I'm going to set that to 30, for example. And so there's one sphere. Now I'm going to take sphere number 2. I'm going to place it inside the MetaBall. You can see that now it's kind of becoming 2 portions or 2 spheres in one. And then the third one, and I get that, and then sphere number 4, I'm going to put it inside, and now you can see that I get this type of effect. Now, I'm going to select the MetaBall, not the sphere, and you can see that I have this hull value, and now the hull value allows me to, reduce the amount of shariness of these objects, and now you can see that I am getting this kind of thing. And at the same time, you could increase this subdivision, but now look at this subdivision. In here I have, this is my editor subdivision, so that's what I can see in here. When I render this, I am using a render subdivision of 5, which is a lot better than this. So I am getting at render time a really nice kind of effect, and right now in here I don't get that. So I'm just gonna go to my main camera. We're gonna put that in here, and let me see. We're gonna render this, and here is the sphere. Here are my couple of spheres in here, so I'm just going to take them. They are too tall, so I'm just going to bring it a little bit here. And let me just hit play again. And now you can see the type of shape that we are getting. This is the before, all right? And now this is the after. Can you see the difference? It looks more like a more natural kind of effect for that type of thing. Now I'm just going to go back and move a little bit here. And you know what we can do here is just take the other camera, if we don't want it, and just create another copy of this camera. And I'm going to bring it all the way down here, because control, copy, and then bring it all the way down so that I don't get, the same one or confused. So I'm just going to put it in here, and I get that. Now I'm going to take, again, my MetaBall, and going to go away from here. And I'm just going to move it a little bit closer, and this is the control of that, and we have a lot of different options for manipulating this. In this case, I am not really worried right now, because I can do it even with these values, and I can bring them in here. Let's go and see our layers again, just to make sure that we are placing in a right position this object. So let's go on this one. Why is it called like this? It's supposed to be called ball. I don't like to see objects without a name. And so here's the MetaBall, and we are going to move it a little bit, and then we are going to move it in this direction, probably like this. And we could use, the same thing, our cloner. This is the palm. All right, and we could use the cloner and use this as a cloud. What? Cloud. All right, so that's what we have, and we can get rid of this one, or we can, yeah, we're gonna get rid of this. So now the thing is that I need to bring this and put it on this guy, and now let's see the render, and you can see that we have a nicer kind of thing. Now it's not perfect. I don't really like the way it looks right now. I could I need to come in here and keep playing with these values. I can increase this and make them look more a little bit more like that. And the cool thing about this is that I can take the spheres and I can move them, and if I take sphere 4, for example, you can see that I can make it kind of get the attach a little bit and change the shape, and they kind of behave really nice. And if you increase the size of them, same thing is going to happen. You can make them look more fluffy like that. And let's see what happens in here. So I get a different type of result right now. One more time, we could decrease this value and make them look a little bit more thinner, but in the render you can see that they look kind of like a liquid kind of effect. And like I said, what we need to do here is just play around with the values, try to make them move into position. So you take sphere number 1 and increase this value. For example, take sphere number 2, increase its value, and something like this. And now sphere number 1 has to go a little bit smaller, like this. And now the thing is that we can take a null object and we can make it bigger, and we can control this with that other effect. But for now, let me just well, I could probably take my position tool, right, my translation tool, and you can see that we can make it bigger or smaller like that with this with our regular tool. And now with this, you have the opportunity as well to clone this, move it, and then we can rotate it. But well, the problem is that we are here at the center of this guy. It's as you can see here, it's rotating around all that. But well, we can make them go like this, create another copy, control, and rotate it and place it in this region. Then I could take that and we could move the, like I said, we could be moving our point of interest. But for now, I'm just gonna go like that and see what we have. And there we go. So they don't look really nice, but maybe we will fix them later. For now, you know and have an idea of how you can use these objects, and I will see you in our next class. Bye for now, take care.